come along with me to the market to shop for my baby items. As a first time mom, while I share with you 5 lessons that I've learned as regards financial budgeting or prepping for a newborn, prepping to welcome a new baby as a first time mom. Hello everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time coming across my video, you're welcome. On this space I talk about everything faith, purpose, relationships, lifestyle, every awesome content that gets to inspire you and ensure that you live God's purpose for your life. And if you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome as well. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share with your loved ones. Hopefully you learn one or two. If you're hoping to be, you're an aspiring mom, going to be a mom soon, or mom again soon. So I hope this helps you. So actually went to shop for the for baby items on 2 occasions. Like went to Lagos market, that's Idumota on the first time, and then Oshodi market the second time. And shout out to my big sister who I went with to Idumota the first time. Thank you so much for always having my back every time I have market runs to do. And for my friends too, my friend, each time I call upon you, thank you for always coming. Thank you for always having my back. Yeah, so let's get right into the main nitty-gritty of this video. So number 1 lesson that I and my husband have learned, because we're actually sitting down recently and just analyzing since the arrival of this our newborn, what are the lessons that we have learned, especially as it comes, as it affects our finances here. So number 1 lesson is don't assume. Do not assume anything. If there's something you're not clear about or you're not too quite sure what it is or how to go about it, it's best to ask questions, especially concerning financial budgeting. So my husband has always had just assume in his head. That was when we were prepping to have this baby. So he just assumed a particular amount XYZ in his head that this should be enough to cover for baby shopping or baby items. And in my own head too, I have an idea of how much to budget, especially since considering that I had heard in someone close to me that had a baby recently, and she sharing some of her experiences, especially concerning financial expenses and all. And I figured, okay, this should be enough. So, but we ended up even I think it was still around what I had in mind that we ended up spending, but my husband's budget was very low compared to what I had in mind. So in his head, he's like, God, I did not sign up for this, but thank God for provision. So don't just assume a particular amount in your head and say, especially if you've never done it before, if you're new to this new role or this new season, do not assume anything. Just ask questions. Number 2, and that brings me to the next point, which is have a plan. Especially when you now have an idea of what and what to plan, then have a plan and stick to the budget. Do not, starting from the order of priority, obviously, the things that you don't need in your first 3 months or 4 months, I don't think if you can afford it, yes, you can buy all, but if you cannot, just stick with what are the most needed things, like in your first month, 2nd month, 3rd month. So, and that was what we did in our own case. We didn't really buy so much considering what was available, just like what and what does the baby need, like ASAP. If the baby comes now, what and what does baby need, at least in the first few months of his arrival. So stick with that budget in your order of priorities. Also on that, do not bank on promises. If someone promised you, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, don't bank on that. That should be an added advantage if the person eventually fulfills his or her promise, but do not bank on other people's promises. Just stick with your plan and your budget. Yeah. Number 3, be content and live within your means. When I was pregnant, I had screenshotted a lot of like gadgets, items that I wanted to buy, which I felt like it was good for me to have, for my baby to have as well. But the question is, do you have the finances for it? Can you afford to get everything? No. Who do you want to impress? Or who do you want to who needs those things? Like, are they really necessary, or can you compromise on some things? Yeah, or can you improvise where necessary? So do not do past yourself. Live within your means. There were some items that we people gifted us during our wedding, which are now useful for us. I could have said, okay, maybe it's not the standard that I wanted, or let me just get something. But if it can serve the purpose, why not? Why do you have to buy another one? If it's still going to serve the function, at least you get the job done. So why do you have to get another one? So just be content, live within your means, be wise in your spending. That's my the lesson from there. And even if you spend 1 million shopping for baby items, it still won't be enough. That's what I learned also. If it's 500k that you can afford, stick within that 500. If it's 1 million, stick within it. I'm just saying, we can never, it's like, I don't think there's any amount of money that you can place on, okay, this is how much will be enough, especially depending on your standard of living and all. Just be content and live within your means. Number 4, don't procrastinate. Get the job done ASAP, as soon as you can, if you have the resources to. My friends were always telling me then that start buying these things small. I'm like, I will. And considering that there were other financial responsibilities at the time, we just felt like, okay, we still have time, we'll still get it done. But I think it's just better that you start buying those things the earlier the better. And considering that the economy of the nation is not smiling, if I'm in Nigeria where I live also, so don't procrastinate, get the job done. And to my final point, which is in this, like, I'll tell a story with this. So I think when we got pregnant and we started actively, especially myself, I started actively praying to God to have a twin. To have twins like that. And there was a point I felt like, okay, let me step up a bit with my faith. As a woman of faith that I am, I just told my husband, let's shop for 2. Even though this can was saying 1. I said, let's shop for 2. My husband said, no, it's not a good idea at this point, especially now that this can is clear that you're having 1. So I said, okay, if you say, let's stick with it. So, and the lesson I've learned, and now eventually we had a baby. So my lesson from there, I'm reading from a book that I read recently, saying that there are natural laws, medical laws. So if the scan of your baby has been determined that it is not then that you need to start applying your faith that God, let it be twins, or you want to change the sex of the baby when it has already been determined. The sex of the baby has been determined right from the moment of conception. So you're now saying you want to apply faith before why that you want it to change to a boy or change it to a girl or twins. So it's just best that if you're a Christian and you want to apply your faith before you get pregnant. Start applying your faith that you want twins before you get pregnant. Start applying your faith that you want a baby girl before you get pregnant. So I think that's the lesson I learned from that, and I really hope that you pick 1 or 2 from here. If you've been a mom too and you have a lesson that's taught you so far, please drop it in the comment section. And if you're hoping to be a mom soon, I hope you find this video helpful. I hope you pick 1 or 2 lessons from it. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this video, like this video. Let me know your thoughts, and then I'll see you in my next video. Bye.